joined by former World Cup winner, as well as former Blitzbok player and Sevens player, Bobby Skinstad, who dabbled in a bit of everything whilst he was playing. First of all, thank you so much for giving us your time. Sevens versus 15s. It's, for the layman, it's the same game and yet so different. Can you just give us a bit of an overview? What's it like running out for a sevens team versus a 15s team, and how difficult is it to adapt?
Sure. Look, it's great to be back and nice to chat. Steve, I think sevens is a game that's evolved so quickly. It's a fantastic game to hone your skills if you're an attacking player. And in particular, we looked at the Rugby World Cup final. Kwagga Smith, was a sevens player for a number of years before he moved across. All three of the outside backs in that Springbok team were sevens specialists before they moved across. Kirkley Arendse was unstoppable as a sevens finishing winger. And I think you got to understand that the game is for the slightly faster, more sort of jackal and tackle and turnover and run kind of players. So you get a lot more of the backs and the loose forwards playing than you would just the pure tight forwards. There's a couple of tight forwards who've played, and Tom Smith, the British and Irish Lions prop, was a famous exponent of sevens, and played for the Scottish national team actually. We've lost him, and may he rest in peace, but he was one of the finest sevens players I've ever seen. He was super fast. He was a prop, but he was built like a sort of a Kwagga Smith, like a strong player. So, I think the important thing to remember is that sevens is seven fast guys, just, three of them in the scrum, the rest are in the backs. And you've got teams like Canada and Great Britain, Ireland, who might not necessarily be out there challenging at a 15s Rugby World Cup, but could knock you over in the blink of an eye in sevens. So it's a really exciting clash, We also see a lot of the Polynesian countries dominating. Fiji have been incredible at sevens. They've got two, Olympic gold medals. Samoa, and I even played a...
Hello and welcome everybody on Forever Rugby at Forever Sports. You're joined with me, Roots, for this Watchalong live this evening. It's the Champions Cup Rugby. It's Racing 92 up against the Harlequins. It's not a South African affair this evening. Kickoff, though, is 7:30 South African Standard Time. We saw the Bulls in the Champions Cup overcome Saracens by 27 points to 16. But then, unfortunately, we also saw the Stormers going down to Leicester away from home by 35 points to 26. We do know that the Sharks, however, against PAU, scoring that victory, I think it was 44 points or 45 points to 5. And then, of course, the Cheetahs away. The Sharks were at home, the Cheetahs away to Zebra, winning that game as well. So for South African team, quite a interesting, solid set of results in Europe's most prized competition. It's just the Stormers. Unfortunately, one would have suggested perhaps the Stormers taking an undercooked side to Leicester there and going down in the end. All the scores were level for pretty much of the whole game. But I'm going to take you through the 23 of each side, starting with Racing, who are at home to Harlequins. And we'll go through from 1 to 23. 1 will be Gogikashvili, Shat, Nyakane, Palu, Waki, Diallo, Kolisi, the Springbok captain, of course, the World Cup winner, in at number 7 there, and Lorette at number 8. 9, we've got Lejarek, Jibber, Imhoff, Saili, Fiku, Habosi, and of course at 15, Arundel of England. The replacements, Tarit, Aru, Laclaye, Chizonu, Joseph, Labael, Tedder, and Chavancy. All the replacements on the bench there for Racing, in case you missed it. And we'll go through the 1 to 23 of Harlequin, starting at number 1, Marla, Riley, Lewis, Launchbury, Lamb, Cunningham, South, Evans, and the captain, Dombrand at 8. Got Murley, Esterhuizen, another African World Cup winner. Can we actually believe it? World Cup winner for their respective teams this evening. What an exciting game as we see Kolisi already giving the vibe there to Racing. But to continue, 13, Joseph, David, and of course Green at fullback. The replacements for Harlequins: Walker, Baxter, Kerrod, Herbst, Chisholm, Porter, Evans, and Beard. As we mentioned, of course, Racing at home this evening. The referee in charge will be Frank Murphy. And he'll have his hands full, of course. This is Europe's premier competition. And we'd like to see the Kolisi and the Esterhuizen shining for their respective clubs. Not a South African affair this evening, but nonetheless an exciting clash ahead of us here on this Sunday evening. The last game of the Champions Cup to take us through to the week ahead. It's been all excitement here on Forever Sports, and it's been non-stop action. We've had the sevens, of course, earlier on. The Blitzboks, unfortunately, falling out in that game. But nonetheless, it's rugby all round on Forever Sports. And remember, of course, to put your bets down on Forever. A minimum of 20 rand game, perhaps, could get you tickets to the game where the Stormers host the Bulls on the 20th. In the Paris La Défense Racing have received the kickoff from Marcus Smith and immediately play from deep inside their 22 on this left-hand touchline. If you are in the comment section, do give us an indication from where in the world you are watching. But it's quick play here from Danny Kerr. And immediately the Harlequins are trying to catch Racing off guard here. Deep into their half, 5 meters out on this right-hand touchline. We didn't expect this sort of action. We saw it early on in the sevens, but here it is now in the Champions Cup. Harlequins of England up against Racing 92 of France. It's Joe Marler taking the ball, but he's hit hard. The defense is resolute here from Racing, and at the moment, it's going to be a turnover. Referee Frank Murphy saying the Harlequins there, driven back with that hard bit of defense. I think it was Galku coming in, hitting them hard, and they ended up back on the 22. Racing all over the ball, and an ensuing penalty means a kick for touch here and an opportunity for a bit of reprieve here in this Investec Champions Cup for Racing 92. Hands all over the ball. It looked like Marcus Smith was in all sorts of trouble, but it was all action initially. And for the moment, the ball is out on halfway on this right-hand touchline. And Fiku immediately gets the ball away to his counterpart, finds grass inside the touchline, and that will be a line out inside the 22 for Harlequins. So 2 minutes in this first half, and we see already the attacking intent from both sides. But Riley will feed the line out for Harlequins. Can they keep this sort of intensity up for the rest of this game? One wonders. So far, it's at the back of the line out here. Riley goes to Tom Brandt, the captain. Harlequins all in white, Racing in black. And it's Danny Kerr from the base. The ball finding the grass, and for the moment, finding the foot there of a Racing player. So a little bit of a fortuitous bounce there for Danny Kerr. Coming, the last player, it was coming off there, was Cameron Wacky. So Harlequins will have another feed, uncontested, This time they decide to go route one with the maul. The referee, Frank Murphy, looking on, making sure the Racing players are coming in from behind the maul. Harlequins keep position for the moment up to their 10-meter mark on this 15-meter on this right-hand touchline. Danny Kerr shaping to kick now. But underneath it there was one of the Racing players, and they do have possession. Looking for a solid exit strategy via that kick, but straight into the hands there of Juan Imhoff, the Argentinian. And up to halfway go Harlequins. They intend to play this evening. Marcus Smith, the playmaker, makes a little chip ahead. It's Grubber ahead again. There is cover at the back though. Henry Arundel, the English playmaker. Or in fact, wasn't Arundel there. I'm just trying to make a mention of who it was, but a lovely little vision there to keep the ball on the ground with the foot. But the cover from Racing good. But again, another line out. So 3 lineouts in quick succession, again going to the back. It's a loose ball. Fiku puts it in the air. And Harlequins, though, do come away with possession. We centre field playing towards this right-hand side. Over halfway into Racing's territory. This is Europe's premier rugby competition. And you can see it with the intention here 5 minutes in this first half. Marcus Smith again. Trying a little chip. This time around, through his vision, Harlequins over the ball there, or should I say Racing illegally so over the ball. And Harlequins will have a penalty. It will be interesting to see what they do on this occasion. But please do give your score predictions in the comment section, guys, as well as tell me from where in the world you're watching. And in fact, they don't go for the 3 points. The conditions look perfect. Underfoot, overhead, and Marcus Smith puts it into touch. We're only about 7 meters out with the feed from Riley to the line out now from the Racing try line. What can they do? At route one via Maul to the middle of the line out, and immediately the referee says the sack was good. Harlequins do manage to recycle here. Danny Kerr to Joe Marler. England international, 5 meters out, inch by inch go from left to right, centre field. Harlequins into their third phase now, coming up to number 4 via Danny Kerr. It's Marler again, ever present. The lucid prop. But for the moment, the defence good. The backline of Harlequins not all much at the moment. Riley in there, the hooker, keeping it tight to Harlequins. They see chance for it, but over the ball is Racing, and they're celebrating that. Of course, why wouldn't you? It's the captain of the Springboks, Sia Kolisi. Over that ball, legally so. Acquired in the off-season after the World Cup for the French club. And winning his side a penalty 5 meters from the try line. So the Harlequins really are starting with intent. But the defensive effort there and the work over the ball from Sia Kolisi and co. Incredible stuff here. Latched onto it. Did not have his hands beyond the ball. And what incredible stuff. Eric Davison, welcome, brother, says 28-20 to Racing. We'll take that scoreline for now. If anybody else does have a scoreline, throw it in the comments section. This is, of course, Champions Cup Rugby. You're live on Forever Sports. It's a loose ball at the moment. It's in the hands of Launchberry, who's away here. Lovely feet here from the Harlequins. Again, 6 meters out. Danny Kerr. It's a kick pass. And unfortunately, this time around, Esther Hazen not having the hands to follow through, but playing under advantage, says the referee, having a stern word there to Gail Fiku and Marcus Smith, marching up to the referee's mark with the full intention of playing this one. Do they go to 3 points? We're still at 0-0. And they have to play. Harlequins, of course, travelling for this game. And immediately it goes into touch. We're 5 meters out on this right-hand touch line. Rushing under the pump here at home, the crowd. It's a full house here in the La Défense Arena in Paris. And here come Harlequins again, middle of the line out. It's the maul. The referee's calling. That's once. Everybody in there now, legally so. They've got to use it, Harlequins. And at the moment, they're driven back. The referee says, unfortunately, I've asked you to use it. You know the rules. And that will be, in fact, a scrum down from the maul to Racing 92. A collective effort there to curb the enthusiasm at maul time from Harlequins. But definitely all in at the moment in terms of possession, territory, Racing weathering the storm here. You can see Sia Kolisi, Cameron Wahi, amongst others, getting themselves stuck in. Of course, they faced each other in that all-incredible quarter-final that the Springboks won at the Rugby World Cup. But now they find themselves as teammates, and together they're working in tandem there. Racing will have the feed to the scrum. They're still 6 meters out. We're about on the 15-meter mark on this right-hand touchline. And this should be an interesting battle. We know the engine room is, of course, where it all happens. Whoever can get the ascendancy here can set a platform for the rest of the game. And for the moment, Racing have an opportunity via Le Jarret to get this ball in, feed it cleanly. And for the moment, they win the penalty. The dominance is there. Gogashvili, Schutz, and Trevor Nyakane working together in that front row, joined by the other 5 forwards, making sure that they get the scrum penalty. And Gibert will put it out into touch and get some welcome relief. But some ominous signs there early on for Harlequins. They've had the possession, they've had the territory, but at one time, they've been absolutely dominated. We're just 12 minutes in, and this is the first line out for Racing. Kolisi in possession now. Again, Fiku decides to put it boot to ball. In fact, it wasn't Kolisi, it seemed. It was Diallo, the number 6, who had the ball there. Kicked away, but Harlequins, in fact, have also tried to find territory, but kicked it straight into the hands of one of the Racing players, and he finds welcome relief up to halfway, just inside the Harlequins half there. Harlequins will have the feed to the line out. 0-0 it remains. But as we mentioned, this is Europe's premier competition. And Harlequins do have the... They come away with the ball and find themselves up to the 10-meter mark, center field, playing to this right-hand side. Touch. Racing trying to get over that ball. Still in possession, Marcus Smith, the playmaker of England. It's an English-France affair this evening. As we mentioned, we saw the Bulls beating Saracens. The Stormers coming unstuck against Leicester. The Bulls, of course, at home. The Stormers away, but away come Harlequins now down this left-hand touchline. It's Lamb. He has an opportunity for a try. It's Danny Kerr. Surely that's a try. There it is. They seem to have the ascendancy when they have ball in hand. It was just that scrum that seemed to have taken them back a bit, but the referee not convinced as of yet. Frank Murphy going to the TMO there. The scoreboard suggests it's 5-0, but the referee is still yet to give us confirmation. But some wonderful work there down the left-hand touchline. It seems like Lamb, of course, strong with the leg pump. And then Danny Kerr with the snipe around the base. But the work was done from the lock forward. One can't help but wonder there for the moment. He was tackled, it seems. Didn't release the ball. Would the referee be penalizing that? What are they looking at here? Danny Kerr, of course, finishing it off there with the lovely snipe around the ruck. But there's a potential for two movements here. Frank Murphy in conversation with the TMO. And it seems like the lock forward will be penalized. So again, breathing space here for Racing. Lamb had to release the ball on the ground when he was tackled. He didn't do so. And Gibert again has an opportunity with the penalty kick. The score remains 0-0, so that 5 has been taken away. The right call was made there. You've got to release the ball on the ground once you're tackled. And if you release it, you can pick it up again. But he seemed to just go. Hitting some on this left-hand side. And the lock forward showed the strength in contact, but was held. And Racing have an opportunity here from the line out. Lovely little chip ahead. What's the bounce of the ball do? Khaleesi comes away with it. Down this left-hand side. Can he find space? It's Wacky. Here's a try. Surely now. Yes, it is. What a wonderful try for Racing. And just like that, Lachare will score. It's Sia Khaleesi, my captain. You're beautiful, man. What a try. Simply sensational. Yolande scores, finishes off a wonderful try. And the bounce of the ball just holding up nicely there. The Springbok captain, Sia Khaleesi, picking up the loose ball. Look at the turner speed. Look at him looking around for support. No look pass to Wacky, who bumped off one. Found scrum off, and he went all the way. That is simply sensational here at the Paris La Défense Arena. And make that 7-0, 15 minutes in. That's incredible stuff. That is Champions Cup rugby from the Rugby World Cup champion. Finding his lock forward on the outside on this left-hand touchline. And another wonderful support line from scrum off. As usual, Lachare scores and the conversion is good. Nolan Lachare scores the try. It's 7 points to 0. Harlequins, in the blink of an eye, have conceded a try. The exit here from Racing up to the 10-meter mark. Still inside their own territory, but a net gain there of about 30 to 35 meters from the fly-off. So, even though they haven't had much of the ball, should I say, Racing 92, showing that they don't need much of the ball. They just need a bit of vision from a World Cup winning captain, my captain, Siya Kolisi. Time off for the moment here. It seems like a little bit of attention to one of the Harlequins players. But what a wonderful sequence of events there. It's not always easy for a player to come in and stamp your authority in a new competition. But for Siya Kolisi, coming from the Sharks, been welcomed with open arms. Of course, unwavering leadership abilities that he has will go a long way in this side. And for the moment, though, it is a Harlequins line out and they do win it successfully. We're almost up to the 10-meter mark, centre field of Racing's territory inside their own half. Danny Kerr. Harlequins now looking for space. It's again Lamb. This time around, it's turnover ball. It's Arundel. It's Grubbard ahead. And another net gain there. Henry Arundel showing he doesn't only have the ability to run coast to coast, but he can put the boot to ball, find some meters in that fullback position. Holland's trying to play quickly for the moment, but the referee just calling him back. And it's going to be Riley, the hooker. But some wonderful meters gained here from the lock forward of Harlequins. Just not able to capitalize and finish off. And again, a gang tackle there. It's Kolisi involved, immediately showing his impact. Can Racing get their hands on the ball? No, for the moment. It's still Harlequins. We're almost done with this first quarter of this game. It's flown by because it's all action here. Danny Kerr shaping to kick for the moment. Up in the air, the referee playing advantage. It's been knocked on there. One of the Racing players, I think it was the scrum off. The try scorer, Lajaré. But a wonderful double tackle there. Chavancy, or should I say Loré and Kolisi there, the 7 and 8 respectively of Racing. It was a contestable kick in the air and just a handling error at the last moment will gift Harlequins with a scrum, which I don't know if they're fully up for, because in that first scrum they were quite dominated. The score remains at Racing 7, Harlequins 0. With Danny Kerr to feed. About 10 meters in from this right-hand touchline, inside Racing's half on this 10-meter mark. Here come Harlequins now via Esterhuizen, another World Cup winner. Kolisi manages to hold on and bring him down. But Harlequins full of intent here. Marcus Smith is their own opportunity. It's the fullback, Tyron Green. Kerr again to one of his tight forwards. The ball retention is good. The speed at the base is good. That ball is loose. Who's over it? And just in the last moment there, Del Fiku trying to get his hands on it. Fumbled there for the moment. And Harlequins will have another fortuitous scrum, this time though inside the 22 of Racing. But wow, what a start to this game here this evening. If you're tuned in from Forever Sports, so far you wouldn't have been disappointed. I'm sure you'd be disappointed with the Stormers losing early on against Leicester, but it's still early days in this competition. Of course, the Bulls next weekend away to Lyon. That's going to be an interesting game. I'll be taking you live through that one. The away games, obviously, definitely going to be the ones to target at least 1 or 2 bonus points. And for sure, your home games you have to win. And for Racing 92 this evening at home to Harlequins, will be wanting nothing less than a victory. Conditions, of course, as we mentioned, underfoot. Quite sublime. Overhead, quite sublime. And Danny Kerr has an attacking opportunity which looks quite sublime. Centre field. How do they set this one up? It's a 8-9. Away they come. It's Marcus Smith all the way. Just like that, stepping off the left foot. And you take your eyes off him for the moment, this playmaker of England. And I'll leave you sleeping. And the defence there, not staying focused. And Harlequins have hit right back. 22 minutes into the first half, should I say. It was an 8-9 from the scrum. There was a dummy runner. Marcus Smith sold the pass, held on to the ball, should I say. And then had the speed off the mark. He's extremely quick for a fly-off. Some wonderful scenes from the substitutes as they celebrate that try. And he'll have the opportunity to convert his own try. It doesn't take much time. He can do it with his eyes closed. But a wonderful set play there from Harlequins. And it must be said, some lazy defense there. When you're meant to be tackling from inside out, it looked like they were tackling from outside in, which allowed him to make the step. And Harlequins draw level at 7 apiece. And Racing have to start from scratch here after that wonderful try early on from their scrum off. The kickoff restart almost up to the 22 inside this 15-meter mark of touch on this right-hand side. Danny Kerr groveling for the ball there, shaping to kick, looking for his chasers. But Arundel under that ball, simply incredible. Secure as ever. Lajaré to Gogishvili. It's a kick pass here. Who's got it? Is there an opportunity? Sahili there. Just throwing a loose pass, I think it was. After the kick pass, which seemed to have gone forward, and the referee has called them back. Or it was knocked on, should I say, there from Sahili. Just couldn't hold on to the ball. It all happened so fast. You thought he got the ball away and passed it forward, but in fact, it was a forward pass. And the Harlequins on this 5-meter mark of touch, on this left-hand touchline now, will have another scrum. So they're looking to get the ball in and out. Some early domination from Racing at scrum time. But Harlequins not leaving it up to any chance. They want to get it in and get it out. And in fact, Danny Kerr goes. Smith. It's Mr. Hazen. It's quick ball. It's a lovely step. The lock forward again. Lamb involved. Joe Marler to Smith. Lovely hands from the loose forward. Yes, an opportunity. And in fact, there is Andre Esterhuizen, the big inside centre, the South African World Cup winner, who goes under the sticks unopposed. And all of a sudden, this game has opened and been blown right open because Andre Esterhuizen is on the receiving end of the last pass there. There was a missed tackle. It takes a lot to bring him down, but what's some wonderful hands from the loose forward there. And then Marcus Smith feeding his inside centre. And this almost surely another guaranteed 7 points. Both like a Sherman tank, Andre Esterhuizen, and breaking the tackle there and scoring the try. We're 25 minutes in to this first half. Harlequins, 2 tries to 1. Stuart Lancaster of Racing and Freddie Michalak looking on there. Not comfortable with those missed tackles. They know the firepower that Harlequins have. And as we say that, Marcus Smith puts over the conversion to make it another 7-pointer, but it was Kyle Fiku who couldn't deal with Andre Esterhuizen. It's almost as if he saw his gold medal around his neck and said, "You go through, sir." And Racing, after scoring first, have conceded 2 quick-fire tries here. The restart. Deep inside the 22, it's Care to Joe Marler. The Harlequins have the benefit of the touchline. Danny Care shapes to kick and does in fact find touch safely. So if you're inside your 22, you can put the ball out directly. It's when you're not, the referee will call outside. The ball has to bounce in field. But so far, Joe Marler, vociferous as ever, but backing it up with some wonderful play at the moment, some wonderful hands, some wonderful carries from the England international. And Racing, for the first time in a while, do have their hands on the ball and away with it. Here comes, it's Kolisi again, or Tabosi, should I say, the right winger. Looking similar in terms of the headband, the white headband around the head, but it is number 14, Bosi, Vanyani Bosi, the Fijian. The ball goes loose, and for the moment, tracking all the way back are Racing. Harlequins putting it deep upfield, and the ball not finding touch. Marcus Smith now. This time around, an unforced error. The ball going straight into touch. Looking for some grass, looking for some territory there, Marcus Smith. Scoring a try earlier on with some lovely feet after that lovely 8, 9, 10. Little bit of set play, but it was a Bosi initially. Then the ball popping loose. And Harlequins, via Joseph, managing to get that ball and then kick it deep upfield. It's a loose line out, and the Harlequins will have to start from deep inside their own 10-meter mark on this 15-meter mark of touch on this left-hand touch line. Launchbury there putting himself in there just to extend that ruck. Give Danny Care some more space to make it contestable. And contestable it is because the Harlequins have come away with it. The defense in 6s and 7s here. But some wonderful work over the ball there from Lorette. And away with it comes Abosi. You can't take your eyes off him. He's almost as quick as lightning. And Racing, for the moment, in possession. not stringing the phases together, but that doesn't or is not required, because away is Kolisi again, feeding his scrum off, who runs another wonderful support line. The referee saying it's fair play to anyone, and just in that last moment there, 8 meters out, center field, Racing 92 lose possession. It will be a scrum down to the Harlequins. Some of the players there of Racing going to the referee, which is not perhaps a great idea. You want the captain calling those sort of shots. The referee don't like a lot of players coming to him, I'm sure. And perhaps sometimes it's just a bit of frustration. And you can see Gal Fiku there still having a conversation with Frank Murphy, man to man. But Harlequins for the moment will have the feet to a scrum. We're half an hour in here, folks. Please do give your score predictions. So some wonderful bit of enterprising play there again from the Springbok captain, Sia Kolisi. As influential as ever for the Springboks in the Rugby World Cup, not only as a leader, but in terms of the way he plays. And tonight, just showing an extension of that. And Eric Davidson says, Kolisi is in a different gear. I totally agree with you, my brother. So for the moment, the Harlequins still lead by 14 points to 7. Remember, they are playing at the Parila Defence Arena. So away from home, and you're in front. You don't want to take your foot off the gas. But still a lot to play for in this game. We've got a whole second half. But who's going to lay the momentum? Approaching half-time. Can Racing get closer to equalising? They're only one score behind. Some wonderful play from both sides. We see the likes of Joe Marler, the likes of Lamb on the Harlequins side. Danny Kerr, of course, has presented the ball at scrum half. But then we see Kolisi at number 7. Lajare, the scrum off, at number 9. And of course, the right winger, Habosi, showing that if he's got a little bit of space, he can make some magic. But here's the powerful scrum here. This time around, the referee saying that scrum was a little bit illegal, should I say. Scrumming in on the angle there, the loose head of Racing, and Harlequins have a free play here with this penalty. Centre field, 15 meters out from their try line. Marcus Smith makes a horrible attempt at kicking for touch, and Sahili looking to make amends for his earlier knock on. Here come Racing centre field, almost up to the 22. Gal Fiku. There's so much firepower across this field, folks. I'm sure you could start a couple of jet engines. But it's turned over as I say that. And again, Joe Marler all involved there. Over the ball, securing it at ruck time. Danny Kerr looking to feed one of his players. Cunningham South. But it's still 14 points to 0. And another penalty conceded in favour of Harlequins there. Over eagerness at ruck time. And this is what Champions Cup rugby is all about. The margins for error seem so small. The skill level seems so high. So off his feet there. Clearly you can see Lorette over the ball. Not satisfied with himself, but you can't help but get your hands on the ball. And for the moment, Racing struggling to keep their hands on the ball. You don't see more than 4 or 5 phases at the moment. And then something happens. But that's a testament to the high level of rugby. The bounce of the ball is crazy. Which way will it go? Into touch. Arundel seeing firsthand what the bounce of a rugby ball can do. But again, pinned deep into their half. Passing 92. They say you shouldn't let the ball bounce, but I'm not sure he had much of an option there. It was a pinpoint kick, and it's going to be shut. The Frenchman, 5 meters from his own try line on this left-hand touchline, who finds Cameron Wacky. And they want to lay a platform, Sia Kolisi, over it to make sure they can exit here. Lajareux, Gibber, safely into touch. All of 30 meters, so a good clearance there for Racing. They've got to weather the storm before half-time and perhaps put down a marker of momentum. At least a penalty, perhaps a try to level it up. You don't want to be losing your home games. And for the moment, Harlequins are showing the intent, but can they keep up the intensity in that second half? We have 5 minutes to play. It's a loose line out, and Racing this time find themselves winning the ball, but counter-rucking strongly there, Harlequins. So forwards, the forwards matching up there at ruck time. And again, away with it come Harlequins via David. Some wonderful work there from Kyle Fiku over the ball. And Racing again finding themselves with the opportunity to exit. The referee on the spot. It must be said, some incredible work there from the outside centre. But they don't want to be finding themselves just clearing for touch all the time, because you leave options like this open. Harlequins play quickly. No, says the referee. We're going to come back. So you can see the intent from the Harlequins. They want to go as quickly as possible. Lovely little step there from David on Saili, creating the space, but it was Gail Fiku. The referee saying legally over the ball, but we're on this right-hand touchline now. As it was cleared on the 10-meter mark inside Racing territory with Riley to feed. Racing still trailing 7 points to 14. With 3 minutes to play. Is there one final blow here for either side? Who's got the momentum shift? It's opened up. Yes, an opportunity. Is there a try? The ball is loose, but it's Arundel who covers just in time. And I think this is one for the TMO, folks. The referee, Frank Murphy, just wants to make sure. But what a game so far we've had here in the Champions Cup, in the La Défense Arena in Paris. Racing at home to Harlequins, trailing at the moment. And it was Henry Arundel there, just coming across in time. We wait and see what the referee does check. Danny Kerr putting it ahead. It looked like he had a hand in there. It will be a goal line dropout after that placement there from Arundel. So some good covering from the fullback. Doing the basics right, Henry Arundel for the moment, the England international. But Racing for the moment still trail, and Marcus Smith gets it almost on halfway, decides to go for a drop goal. Sailing! Over! What a drop goal! Marcus Smith, the mercurial fly off. Got it deep, ran 1 or 2 or 3 meters into the half of Racing, and it just snuck over. And just like that, we have another 3 points. We thought it perhaps could come from a penalty. We thought it perhaps could come from a drop or from a try. But no one quite thought it would be a drop goal. And Marcus Smith taking it upon himself there to score it. And Harlequins go up by 17-7. There's only 2 minutes to play in this first half. What scenes here at the home ground of Racing 92. And they'll be desperate to put some points on the board before that halftime hooter sounds. Harlequins really showing up to play today. Danny Kerr, of course, guiding the troops from 9. But interesting in this first half, as I mentioned, we're not seeing many more than 4 or 5 phases being put together before something happens. And again, a turnover ball for Harlequins. No one's sealing that ball off legally for Racing. Some worrying times at the breakdown there. The intensity is there, and Harlequins come away with it again. And this time around, it's Sahili. Has he got the footwork? Has he got the support? Tabosi there. Is there someone there to secure that ball? The ball's gone into touch. The referee says it was legal and fair counter-rucking. But you can't take your eyes off the game. Sahili almost finding support in free space in Abosi. But the defense of the Harlequins, just there in time. It's all happening at the speed of knots here. But Harlequins still lead here in this Champions Cup game by 17 points to 7. It's up and down, but it was Sahili there with the lovely bit of footwork. And Racing on the attack, looking to capitalize just before half-time. And as we say that, there are only a couple of seconds left. And it seems like an early substitution here for Harlequins. Just trying to make a mention of who it is. Beard will come on. And the line out inside the 22 for Racing on this right-hand touchline via Abosi. He's got the leg drive. He's only 5 meters out. This is the one we were looking for if you're a French supporter. Away, Lageray. Is there an opportunity here? Harlequins have to be desperate here, but desperate to stay on side. Is that a try? Yes, says Frank Murphy. In this right-hand corner. On the stroke of half-time. You can't count them out. Antoine Gibert, the half, scores the try on the receiving end of that last pass had some work to do, but had the presence of mind to tap low and score in this right-hand corner. And Nolan Lajarre, the scrum off, who scored earlier, converted his try, has the opportunity to put an extra 2 points on the board on the stroke of half-time. Sailing over! Beautiful scenes here, folks. If you're a Racing fan, because they're right back in it, trail by 14 points to 17. That's half-time for the moment. Do stay tuned for the second half. It's all Champions Cup here in Paris. Harlequins have a slender 3-point lead via Marcus Smith drop goal. Get your refreshments. I'll see you for that second half. Until then, bye for now.
Joined by former World Cup winner, as well as former Blitzbok player and Sevens player, Bobby Skinstad, who dabbled in a bit of everything whilst he was playing. First of all, thank you so much for giving us your time. Sevens versus 15s. It's, for the layman, it's the same game and yet so different. Can you just give us a sort of a bit of an overview? What's it like running out for a sevens team versus a 15s team, and how difficult is it to adapt?
Sure. Look, it's great to be back and nice to chat. Steve, I think sevens is a game that's evolved so quickly. It's a fantastic game to hone your skills if you're an attacking player. And in particular, we looked at the Rugby World Cup final. Kwagga Smith, was a sevens player for a number of years before he moved across. All three of the outside backs in that Springbok team were sevens specialists before they moved across. Kirkley Arendse was unstoppable as a sevens finishing winger. And I think you got to understand that the game is for the slightly faster, more sort of jackal and tackle and turnover and run kind of players. So you get a lot more of the backs and the loose forwards playing than you would just the pure tight forwards. There's a couple of tight forwards who've played, and Tom Smith, the British and Irish Lions prop, was a famous exponent of sevens, and played for the Scottish national team actually. We've lost him, and may he rest in peace. But he was one of the finest sevens players I've ever seen. He was super fast. He was a prop, but he was built like a sort of a Kwagga Smith, like a strong player. So, I think the important thing to remember is that sevens is seven fast guys. Just three of them in the scrum, the rest are in the backs. And you've got teams like Canada and Great Britain, Ireland, who might not necessarily be out there challenging at a 15s Rugby World Cup, but could knock you over in the blink of an eye in seven. So it's a really exciting clash. We also see a lot of the Polynesian countries dominating. Fiji have been incredible at sevens. They've got two, Olympic gold medals. Samoa, and I even played a test match, a sevens match against Cook Islands. So because there's less players, there's less need for the set pieces that you have in 15s. It's a fantastic open game, and I've said this before. I think I said to you guys last week, it's a really hard game to predict. So I love watching it, and I love the excitement. I think what we see now, especially with HSBC putting in time and effort into the sponsorship, is it's going to get better and better, and it'll become a representative game for a long, long time at Olympics and Commonwealth Games.
Okay, and then in a few words, what was your favorite part of playing sevens when you played?
Well, you got to remember, I played sevens when I was 20 years old till about 23, and we'd only just got started in touring and playing in these tournaments around the world. So the best part for me was touring. I mean, I went to Dubai, to England, Ireland, to Australia, to New Zealand, and played in these incredible tournaments. Saw the world, met friends, played against great players, because there was still a crossover of a lot of players. I mean, we had Andre Venter, Rassie Erasmus, Joost van der Westhuizen, Brayton Paulse, and myself, Peter Rousseau, all playing in the Andre Snyman, all playing in the sevens team that went to Hong Kong, and that year we'd all played in the Springboks team. So we had a bit of crossover of both. The favorite part was definitely touring and seeing the world.
Hello and welcome back here to the second half. We're almost underway in this Champions Cup, Europe's premier competition when it comes to rugby. And for the moment, Harlequins away from home to Racing 92 in the lead by 17 points to 14. It's that drop goal of Marcus Smith that separates the two teams for the moment. And we are underway, Racing from left to right, get underway deep into the 22 of Harlequins via on the mark of touch on this left-hand touch line. Danny Kerr shepherding his forwards. Some more room for side is 22, and he can in fact put it straight into touch. So an exit strategy there, the Harlequins. But Sia Kolisi and the Racing men know that for time was very crucial. The line out now. Do they have the intensity after that early try from the scrum? There's almost two on this list. The scrum for Plagerie, and they're now head down. Ambe, Laurie taking it up. Fiku looking for Abosi out wide. Who finds Arundel. Got some, and they're up to the 5-meter mark now. Via some wonderful cleaning work there from Sia Kolisi. They're almost up to the try. There it is. First thing in the second half. It's the scrum off again. Nolan Lechery for Racing, and they take the lead. It's 19 points to 7. Frank Murphy confirms the try, but that's a brace for the scrum off of Racing. The lovely little hand from Abosi to Arundel. It must be said, some wonderful clean-out work from the Springbok captain, Sia Kolisi. And there's the quick sniping race from Nolan Lagerie. And Racing take the lead, 21 points to 17. More than a penalty ahead now. So some slight comfort there, but what a way to start this second half. At home, they know they have the full support of the crowd behind them. Still a long way. And Nolan Lagerie, the scrum off, has a brace. Things are all happening fast here in the Champions Cup. There was downward pressure. Launchbury trying to get there, but he won in time. And it is 20 points to for the moment. I think they've gone up to the TMO there. For the moment, I wasn't sure. The referee, Frank Murphy, having some discussions with the assistant referee. The try will stand. It's 21 points to 17. There was a check. But Lagerie will, in fact, get his second try, and Marcus Smith will get us underway from that try and conversion. Racing back in the lead. And they have the restart from deep inside their own 22 here. Lagerie, the try scorer, has the comfort of this left-hand touchline and in fact finds about 35 meters and puts the ball deep, or just inside, should I say, of Harlequins territory on the other side of halfway on this left-hand touchline. Some quick enterprising play there. Gets Racing on the board early in the second half. But they have to contend with this line-out maul now as Harlequins try to drive into the half of Racing, and Danny Kerr shapes for a kick. Who's underneath it? It's Abosi. He seems to be getting more and more involved in this game. Showed some wonderful hands early on. But you can see the skill set of both sides. Not too many phases being put together. But still, the scoreboard ticking over on both ends. We're only 5 minutes into the second half. And we've already had our first try of the second half. Marcus Smith to Joe Marler in midfield. Trying to play like into the Danny Kerr to Smith. He'd be hoping the chasers are underneath it. The ball pops loose. Marcus Smith again with the feet. He's got acceleration up the mark. Here comes Marcus Smith. Looking to link up with his support. Nobody there for the moment except Launchbury, and they're up to the 22 here of Racing. Cameron Wacky looking to come through with the counter-ruck. The referee marshalling there right on the spot, but for the moment it's Harlequins via Danny Kerr. Inside the 22 they go. And Racing will have to be a little bit more resolute on defence, making their one-on-one tackles, not slipping any, if they don't want to concede another try. But it looks, for all intents and purposes here, a high-scoring affair is on the cards, and away with it comes David. But Sal rescued by Racing and hoofed up ahead. There is cover at the back for the Harlequins. But all on his own, and for the moment, it's Esterhuizen who puts the ball securely, safely into touch. No frills, no fuss from the World Cup winner there. Andre Esterhuizen finding himself covering at the back. But it's Marcus Smith who's having a game this afternoon, or this evening, should I say. With the twinkle toes, speed off the mark. The support wasn't even there quick enough. But Marcus Smith having a game of it for Harlequins today, but somehow rescued there by Racing, forcing Esterhuizen to cover at the back and put the ball into touch. It's all happening here, as we said. Time for the moment, and Racing lead by 21 points to 17 against Harlequins. Harlequins, of course, playing away from home. What a coup it would be if they could win a game away. Not the easiest thing to do, but for Racing, it would almost be illegal to lose a home game. Referee Frank Murphy getting in the way there. But Racing still in possession. Up to the 10-meter mark here of Harlequins on this right side, on the 15-meter mark of touch. Lacharet to shut the hooker. And for the moment, the referee, Frank Murphy, just calling a stop to play there. I think there's an injury that they want to have a look at. It's Joe Launchbury, the England international. Seems to be worse for wear. But what an exciting game up to this point. We saw a wonderful drop goal earlier on from Marcus Smith creeping over the try line. But then Racing in that second half, starting with the bang, of course, via Nolan Lacharet, scoring under the sticks. They had a look at it for a moment, but there was just about enough downward pressure. And the try stood with the conversion. And we can see Siya Kolisi showing his leadership skills, going up to the referee, marshalling, asking the honest questions. And you can see the referee, of course, giving him the time of day. Show definite plus point for Racing to have a player like that in the forwards and in this team, should I say. More than just a player, the Springbok captain, playing with the number 7 on his back, of course. Something we're not so used to as South African fans. But as we mentioned, it's World Cup winner versus World Cup winner in Andre Estey, who's got a try of his own up against his captain, Siya Kolisi. And for the moment, the referee will restart the game with a scrum after that call. Just making sure safety first for Joe Launchbury, but it's away here for Vinyana Habosi. Down this left-hand touchline, just taken by the ankles. Loré to Lajaré. A quick ball. And somehow Racing still manage to hold on to possession. They have gone a few meters back though. It's Sahili with ball in hand. Harlequins trying to get their hands on the ball. But surely that's penalty advantage. Slapped down there illegally so. And away with it comes Kolisi. The kick pass is good. Is there someone there? They're playing under advantage. And the referee will in fact come back for that one. It looked like a deliberate slap down there from one of the Harlequins players. And Racing now with an interesting option here. Do they go for the corner or do they take the 3 points? But some wonderful support work there from Sahili, the inside centre. And Racing playing under advantage there. The kick pass not as accurate, but it's irrelevant because they will come back for the penalty to Racing. And they have an opportunity now to perhaps put the ball into touch. Push for a 7-pointer, time off for the moment. Referee Frank Murphy has had a pretty solid game. Very concise in his communication. Most certainly, as most referees, doesn't like the fact that every player would want to question his decisions. So we need leaders like Kolisi for Racing to just navigate those waters and take it upon himself to have those conversations with the referee. But an injury to Habosi here, we'll see him go off the field, so a replacement there. Early on in the second half, just over a half an hour to play, and Racing have a line out just outside the 22 of Harlequins on this right-hand touchline. They go route one with them all, and it's going forward at the speed of knots here. Away with it comes Shot the hooker. Lajaré at the base. And the referee says holding on. Harlequins all over that like a rash. And would you believe it? It's the loose head prop. Joe Marler after Cameron Wacky took a clean ball in the line-out. And they looked for all money like they're going to maul them all the way. Breaking up there, that maul of Harlequins. But somehow Joe Marler stayed on his feet and the referee calling it penalty to Harlequins. So an exit allows them to put the ball into touch just on halfway on this right-hand touchline and feed Launchbury via Riley. Here comes DK. Racing now will be intent to not slip a tackle, but as I say that, away come Harlequins. inside Racing's half on this 10-meter mark. And a knock on there from Tyron Reid, the South African fullback. Been with Harlequins for a couple of seasons, quite an anomaly at fullback. Needs a little bit of space, but that time around, on the end of that pass from Danny Kerr, just looking up at the defence and knocking the ball on in the process. Racing will have it put into the scrum just inside their own half, inside this 15-meter mark of touch on this left-hand touchline. As we see Chisholm come on for Harlequins on this blind side flank. So early replacements on both sides. Habosi off for Racing. He's been quite prominent. How can they negate that, or how can they find the other players to step up? Fiku in there to clean the outside centre. Sahili takes 2 men to bring him down. They're still playing down this right-hand side. And it's him off. He's been relatively quiet the whole evening, but when he got his hands on the ball, made a few meters. The ball popped loose. Harlequins locked it on. And in fact, Racing will have another put into the scrum. They've made a couple of good yards up ahead. I beg your pardon. Almost up to the 22 here of Harlequins. You can see this intensity taking it out of the players, especially the travelling side. Can this French team, with the support of the crowd, push on here? As we're closing in on the third quarter here. Lajoret to feed for Racing. It's a solid scrum. And Loré comes away with it at number 8. Colisi with the pickup. Tacklers have to release the tackled player. And this time, the ball security a little bit better in the second half here for Racing. Wonderful pluck out of the air there, almost at the last moment from Diallo. It was the fly-off Gibber, Antoine Gibber, looking for his man out there, but just couldn't hold on to it, Diallo, the big number 6. But playing under advantage. And immediately they point for the corner. And this is a real opportunity now on this right-hand touchline for Racing 92 to stamp their authority here. We saw a pick up at the base there. Some wonderful meters post-contact. But what wonderful work tonight from Sia Kolisi, the Springbok captain. Not enough can be said for his ability as a rugby player, but also as a leader. Showing the experience, all the experience in the world. And for the moment, Racing do win the line out. They're only 10 meters out on this right-hand side. Lajoret to Diallo. It's all action. Slipping 102 here. Harlequins. Ball retention good. The scrum off looking for a hat-trick. No way through there. We're almost centre field. And it's going to be kept tight for the moment. Racing in possession via Cameron Wacky. The enterprising lock forward of France. At the base, Gael Fiku. Diallo again. Slightly isolated, but the support comes. How long can the Harlequins hold out here? Lajoret. There's space out wide, should I say. Surely if they can move it. Here's an opportunity. Shot time! Jean Imhoff, the Argentine. It looked like a skip pass there. And in the colors of blue and white in the crowd, Jean Imhoff could have gone all the way to score. Did he do enough? Oh, just a foot in touch there. It's going to be called back. I thought he'd scored, but playing under advantage, and this time around, Gogigashvili at said will take a tap and go. No. Lajoret, this time to Gogigashvili. It's all quick, enterprising stuff, but it's taken them 2 or 3 meters back. It's a loose ball here, finding its way down the right-hand side here. Imhoff has to go in and clean. Kolisi present over the ball, making sure it's secure. Kyle Fiku's had a good game tonight. Again, playing under advantage, says the referee. This is danger territory for Harlequins. The referee calling them back. It looked like they wanted to play quickly there. But this is the danger zone. You don't want to be giving away cards. It's difficult as it is for Harlequins with 15 men on the field. They could ill afford to lose someone at this crucial time, I'm sure. But what a match we've had here in the Champions Cup this evening. If you stayed around on Forever Sports, you will not have been disappointed because it's been all action, and it gives me a pleasure to take you guys through it, of course. Racing 92 still ahead by 21 points to 17. We're just about closing off the third quarter, heading into that final quarter where everything becomes crucial, from substitutions to mental focus to fitness. It all has to culminate. They have to stay together as a team. For the moment, time is off. But after scoring first, early on, Racing conceded those 2 tries. Conceded a drop goal, but then came back just before half-time to score and put themselves in contention to push on in the second half, and push on is exactly what they did by scoring early on in that second half via Nolan Lajoret. And they find themselves ahead by 4 points. The crowd will tell you they back their side. And for the moment, you can see the focus still on the eyes of Siya Kolisi. But what a game it's been from Joe Marler as we see him coming off the field. He has an opportunity 5 meters out. Of course, they were playing under advantage, and it's Cameron Wacky bringing the ball down safely in the line-out. It's all forwards in there at the moment. They're only 4 meters out. There's a real opportunity now. Harlequins have been defending for the last 3-4 minutes. It's the captain. Surely 1 meter out. Siya Kolisi just not able to stretch in that final move there, but still presenting the ball here for Racing. Centre field under the sticks. Is there an opportunity to... Oh! Short time! It's all muscle. And Joe Marler looking on in despair. But it is a try. Ibrahim Diallo for France puts them ahead by 26 points to 17. Safe as a house in the line-out, Cameron Wacky. And then the forwards, each of them having an opportunity to make a burst for the line. We almost thought the Springbok captain, Siya Kolisi, would get over just short, but again, showing the presence of mind to present the ball safely. And Ibrahim Diallo with a try. He had the muscle around the base of the truck. And Racing 92 pulling clear here by 28 points to 17 over Harlequins. And as we can see, Harlequins definitely eager to get this game underway. The restart just outside the 22 on this 15-meter mark of touch on this left-hand touchline. Lachare again. Racing looking to play via Jean Imhoff. Taking some effort to bring him to ground, I beg your pardon. But Racing, more importantly, still in possession. Another kick pass here. There is an opportunity. Waki to Arundel, who puts it to boot. And this time around, an awful kick off the left foot. A wry smile from Henry Arundel as we see some attention being given there to Ibrahim Diallo. But we see the kick pass becoming more and more prominent there. Just not getting the ball into or in any space. Cameron Waki had to offload, and then Arundel seemed a little bit rushed off the left foot and straight into touch. The attrition rate looks quite high, as we mentioned. This is the time where we see the substitutes feature, of course, as we hit that 60-minute mark, folks. From where in the world are you watching? And how do you think the South African teams, after watching this weekend, will do in this competition, be it the Challenge Cup or the Champions Cup? Keep in mind, if you missed out, that you can bet on any rugby game this weekend and next weekend. Put a minimum down of 20 Rand on BOYLESPORTS. Stand a chance to win tickets, but that's irrelevant for the moment because Dom Brandt is over for Harlequins here. I took my attention away from the game for a moment, and the Harlequins told me, "Sir, we will score, concentrate," and that's exactly what I'll do. First phase ball from Danny Kerr. Esther Hazen prominent again, but it's the captain, Alex Dombrandt, who secures a try, and the Harlequins right back in it. 28 points to 22, with the conversion to come via Marcus Smith. Look good all night. It's sailing, and it's over. So just like that, the Harlequins strike back. 28 points to 24. It's less than one score. Just before that try, I was mentioning if you put a bet down or minimum bet of 20 Rand, you can see yourself potentially winning tickets to the URC game where the Stormers are hosting the Bulls at the DHL Stadium on the 23rd of December. So if you count yourself lucky, go ahead and make an account on BOYLESPORTS and do just that. Racing for the moment still ahead. With the safety of touch, Alex Kerr puts it out, or Danny Kerr, should I say, puts it into touch. Exit from inside his own 22 with a wonderful kick, taking the ball just inside the half of Racing here. Still ahead, of course. Tari with the feed for Racing. Straight into the hands of a Harlequins player. And it's David who comes away with it for Harlequins. So a free play here. Winning the line out against their own throw. Marcus Smith to Esther Hazen. Tough bugger to bring down for sure. DK looking for a tight forward up to the 10-meter mark now, gaining meters inch by inch down this right-hand side they go. One score would put them ahead without the conversion. Gail Fiku in there to try and stop that momentum, but they're almost up to the 22 now, Harlequins. Playing from right to left, we are centre field. It's left, it's right. And for the moment, Frank Murphy has given a penalty here. Offside there from Racing 92. So Harlequins will have an opportunity here to perhaps put a 3-pointer down. Greetings, Richard Cummings-Berg, Namakwaland. He says he thinks we will end somewhere in the middle. Need more experience in the intensity of this kind of competition. Richard, I definitely agree with you, brother. It's something new for us. Under the lights, the conditions, the crowd, it all seems to be happening so fast. And sometimes you find South African teams perhaps so used to slowing it down. But as we've seen tonight, it's all action here, and Harlequins deciding against the 3 points. They want to go for the try. To the middle they go, and it's immediately a maul via the Harlequins forwards. What do? They score! That's what they do. A dejected Joe Marler earlier on is up. He's elated because that's try time. And with that try, Harlequins go into the lead. Crucially, away from home. It must be said there, the forwards of Harlequins working in tandem. And you can see what it means to the bench. Joe Marler himself coming off the field had a wonderful 50-odd minutes. The loose head prop, one of the better games I've ever seen. He's obviously got the experience, but he was carrying the ball. He was showing his hands in the offload. And this time around, he can support from the bench, having played his part. And Marcus Smith will have the opportunity, should I say, to put Harlequins up by 3. At the moment, 29 points to 28 for the moment, folks. This is Champions Cup rugby. 14-point turnaround it is. It's over. And just like that, the English side are ahead by 31 points to 28. A real forward effort there. The backs looking on, obviously supporting their forwards. But from the line out, or before the line out, the penalty, they decided against the 3. And you can see it paid off with that 7-pointer there. Harlequins up by 31 points to 28. The kickoff deep from Racing now. Danny Kerr will have the luxury of being inside his 22 here. And fine touch is what he does, almost or just about on halfway. Racing will have to build from halfway here. 13 minutes to play. been quite an effective bit of play in this last 10 minutes, scoring those 2 tries, Harlequins. So even though they were down at one stage, trailing by 11 points, find themselves ahead by 3 now with those 2 converted tries. And again, winning a line out off Racing's ball. Here come Harlequins. Tyron Green in there to make the clean out, and Racing for the moment just losing a bit of efficiency, losing the basics in terms of their line out play. Gifting possession to Harlequins with centre field playing from right to left inside the 10-meter mark of Racing. And Harlequins stringing some phases together. And what a wonderful little burst here from Benny Kerr. Looking for support. There's someone outside there. Surely they've got to go wide now. Onto this right-hand side come Harlequins. Sparked from that man, Danny Kerr. Sniping around the base. Marcus Smith out the back. Is there an opportunity? One-on-one, a massive hit from Arundel there. But he can't effect the turnover. Here come Harlequins via Smith. There's a fumble. There's an opportunity here. Sean Imhoff puts the boot ball. Advantage is over, says the referee. And Harlequins are forced to play from deep. That looked a bit forward, surely. No, says the referee. Yes, it is forward. Surely now. And Racing will have the put into the scrum. So it's all over the place here. For a moment there, Harlequins building a few phases together. But as we said this evening, 4-5 phases. And it seems to be a turnover or a try. Or a chip ahead kick pass. But crucially, Harlequins still ahead by those 3 points. Some big hits in here this evening. And for the moment there, Racing playing under advantage. Kick the ball ahead. And I think it was Tyron Green, under no real pressure, off his left hand, passing that ball, and the referee adjudging it to be forward. So that's what resulted in the scrum that will take place. Richard says in Super Rugby we played Australia and New Zealand national players. Yeah, we play the best of 6 nations. But also New Zealand, Australia, Springboks and Argentinian players. Thus, quality is more intense. Good point, Richard. We do miss the days, of course, of Super Rugby. The early 9 o'clock mornings in Christchurch, whether you were Stormers, Bulls, Sharks, was always exciting as a South African fan. Sometimes earlier than 9 o'clock. In the early days of Super Rugby, it was 4 a.m. But here come Racing now from the ensuing scrum, looking to find space. Arundel finding nothing except the touchline and 2 defenders. A guy like Henry Arundel, of course, we know what he can do if he has some space. Couldn't create any there from the pass. Defense all over him. But Racing not for the will of trying, just finding the touchline there. We're inside the 22 of Harlequins here, still holding on to that slender lead. 31 points to 28 here. Danny Kerr from the base inside the 22 knows he has the safety. And safety first for this moment. What an away victory will do for this Harlequins side, for any team, in fact, in this competition. The same can't be said for the home team. They have to win their home games if they have any realistic chance of competing. But there's still local competitions, of course, for all countries in Europe, as well in the URC. So you kind of ask the question, which competition do the teams focus on? We saw the Stormers going down earlier, which one would have said was a second string Stormers side against Leicester. The Stormers results, of course, not so great in the URC, but which competition can we realistically have and challenge for? That's the questions the coaches of the respective teams to answer. And for the moment, Harlequins somehow come away with the ball after it's kicked ahead. And the referee says knock-on advantage. Danny Kerr at the base. Surely the referee will call advantage over here. In fact, he has. Racing getting a little bit more desperate now as the time ticks on. Still trailing by those 3 points. We've got just over 7 minutes to go in this game. And it's been a battle here this evening at the La Défense Arena in Paris. The home side. Can they put a score on and close this game off? It's going to be a tight affair as we see some attention to some of the players on both sides. So the attrition rate, of course, high as one could imagine with the intensity from both sides this evening. And this time around to the middle of the line out go Racing. After that kick from Danny Kerr went straight into touch. Racing find themselves in the half here. But somehow, Harlequins managed to come away with the ball. They'll look to slow it down, I'm sure, as Danny Kerr rolls the ball back to shape for a kick. On halfway, no real chasers though. Racing call for the mark, trying to find grass, but the cover is good at the back. And Harlequins put it high under the Paris night sky. Is it Jean Imhoff under the ball? Looking for a bit of action. Who's got the moment of magic? They're on their own 10-meter mark, Racing here. Still looking to get that score that will put them back into the lead. 3 points would level it up, but we know for a fact they don't want 3 points. And here comes Gail Fiku. It almost looked for a moment there like turnover ball. Harlequins looking eager over it, but the referee saying illegally so. Frank Murphy, who's had a solid game this evening. We like to give referees a lot of grief, of course. As they say, we like to focus too much on the 5% they're doing wrong and not too much on the 95% that they're doing right. But an unforced error there from Racing, looking for too many meters downfield, has resulted in Marcus Smith pooching the ball ahead and Racing themselves not finding the touchline. And must be said, perhaps the Racing player a little bit over eager there to not let it run or see if the ball can run over the dead ball line from Marcus Smith's kick. But he felt he was under a bit of pressure. But again, Racing not in possession and time not on their side for the moment, still trailing by those 3 points. Harlequins up to halfway centre field. From left to right, Marcus Smith puts the ball high, but just not enough traction on it. and gifting Racing the opportunity, but it's knocked on by Juan Imhoff. So a late flurry here, but a little bit of a reactive sense here from Racing, not proactive. And in the process, a slight fumble, knock on there in the air. Contested by both teams. It looks like Gail Fiku and the referee calling for a scrum to Harlequins on this 50-meter mark of touch on this right-hand touchline. So far, it's that drop goal of Marcus Smith separating the two sides, so you can see how even it's been. Some wise words there from World Cup winning Springbok Andre Esterhuizen to his fly off. Perhaps just guiding him on how to close this game off. He knows he's got the boots, he knows he's got the feet. Just perhaps lending him a little bit of temperament for the moment. But one can't help but imagine Marcus Smith going down as man of the match for this game. Try conversion, drop goal. He's been ever present. The England international, electrifying player. And Harlequins will have the put-in to this scrum. And we're only 3 minutes away from full time. And as I say that, Racing put in a massive shift on scrum time here. 1-8 getting celebrated there for the moment. And referee Frank Murphy giving them an opportunity because of the scrum domination to put this ball into touch and make a real play for it in this last few minutes. And that's in fact exactly what they do. To the 22 go. Racing still trailing by those 3 points. Is there a try? In these last few moments, it's Cameron Wacky. It's a maul. And it's all in. It looks like it's moving forward on this right-hand touchline. The referee calling use it once. Lacheray there. And a real opportunity here for Racing via Diallo. He's already got a try this evening. Working our way towards this right-hand touchline. Only about 8 meters out. Colisi over the ball, securing it so that Lacheray can get his hands on it and feed one of the right forwards. Playing blind and then coming back down towards this left-hand side. You can't imagine this is all in now for Racing 92. At home here, of course, against Harlequins, but unfortunately trailing for the moment. Lacheray calling for reinforcements. Can Harlequins hold out? This is enterprising play. They're only 4 meters out now. Is there someone at the end of this pass who's got the momentum? Fiku just held up short. They're 3 meters out now. Make that 2 meters. And the referee, Choi, has called for a penalty. Yes, he has. Almost seemed as if Harlequins had turned it over. But not legally so. And the referee having some stern words to the captain, Alex Dombrandt. What a way to finish this game, folks. 5 meters out. Harlequins holding on to such a slender lead. And this seems like it's going to be a tap and go. Would you believe it? We're in the final minute. Lacheray. Harlequins players have to roll away there. Surely, Mr. Ref, it's advantage. It's a free play here. There's a real opportunity. But the referee calls them back there. He's just spoken to the captain, Alex Dombrandt. And that'll be a yellow card. So they'll finish the game with 14 men there, Harlequins. Holding on to a slim lead. We're seconds away. It's going to be another play. Time is up. Lageray again. That's going to be that, folks. It seems like a handling error. And it's all over here for Racing. They are defeated by the away side. And it's all smiles from Launchbury and Joe Marler. But Harlequins, hold on. And you have to give credit to that drop goal from Marcus Smith, of course. The 3 points that separate them. A lot has happened since then. But that's the end of this Champions Cup game. A rather dejected Springbok captain, Siya Kolisi, but he gave his heart out. At the end, just not enough. And Harlequins walk away by 31 points to 28 here at the La Defense Arena.